How we doing? Payne got his ankle stepped on yesterday. He'll be in a boot for a week or so. We expect him back in 2 to 3 weeks. He'll be okay.
Any other injury updates?
Ryan Anderson had back spasms. He'll probably miss today, and hopefully we'll get him back. He's got to hopefully get recovered here. Be back tomorrow. Zach Brown is day to day. It just depends on how he feels. It's nothing serious. It's just how much he wants to push through it, how much he can push through it without redoing it.
In Zach's absence, Josh Harvey Clemens, whether it was in the spring when he was out for the voluntary portions or the past couple of days, Josh Harvey seems to have taken that spot as the backup. What has pushed him into that role above Vigil and Spate, guys who played last year at that linebacker spot more than he did?
Well, I think it's been good for him. Last year we pretty much had him only playing sub. Now we're trying to get him acclimated to some base role at linebacker, and he's learning the defense and improving. You know, Spate's still there, Vigil's still there. Sean Dion, we're trying to get him up to speed. So in Zach's absence, we have some guys getting quality reps that need it.
With Duran missing that much time for his rookie year, what kind of a setback is that for him?
Not much. He's in great shape. He's big, strong, physical. He'll probably get stronger in his 2 weeks working out. So he's in great shape, so it's not a big deal. He's already very smart, knows the defense, so he's in good shape.
What can we expect today with the pads on? Will the pads come on today?
Yeah, we'll have shoulder pads on today, so we'll get a little hitting. You know, I limited some reps today just because we were down 2 or 3 defensive linemen, 2 or 3 outside backers, a couple inside backers. You know, so we're down some bodies, but we'll get as many reps as we can without putting too many in the IV tank.
Broader question about your approach, not to look too far ahead, but you've got the streak of not winning the openers. How much does that play into your training camp approach here at how you want to handle these practices?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're just trying to, for right now, early stages, we're trying to reacclimate them to our system slowly but surely. I think the first 5 to 6 practices it's mainly system oriented. After that, we'll get into more situational type ball, third down, red zone, move the ball, no huddle, all that good stuff. But right now, we're just about trying to install our system. After that, we'll push the envelope and push them and make sure we get them ready, more so than we have, hopefully, for Arizona.
Jay, how's Tim Settle looked in these first couple days? He had it looked like a good one-on-one session yesterday, and will he get a little bit more action, I guess, now with you guys being down 2-3?
Yeah, I was really impressed with Tim yesterday because we had 2 or 3 guys down. He had to take a lot of reps, and he got stronger, actually, as the practice went on. And this is a great experience for some of these young guys. You know, unfortunately, we lose a couple guys to injury, but fortunately, some guys we really need to look at, we get a good look at. Like Tim's a great example, had a great day yesterday.
Jay, does Adonis Alexander missing rookie minicamp and OTAs put him behind the 8 ball a little bit as training camp begins, or is that not as big a deal as maybe one would think?
No, it puts him behind. You know, it's hard because we throw a lot at them day one. We expect them to remember and retain what they went through in OTAs and minicamp and all that good stuff, but he wasn't here, so he's behind. So he'll catch up. He's a bright kid, and you know, Coach Torian Gray had him before at Virginia Tech, so he has a great way of communicating with them, and we'll get him up to speed, but he is slightly behind.
For Settle, you guys drafted Payne and him together just to kind of help the defensive line, but is there anything that Settle gives you that Payne doesn't, or just how do their games differ?
No, they're different. You know, I think, you know, Settle's probably, I don't know, Payne's a little bit stronger right now, that's for sure, but Settle gives you a little bit of position flex also, but he's probably more so of a nose, I guess. Payne's probably more along the line. He can play every spot along the line.
With Josh Doxson, what's the next step in his progression? And in terms of if he's able to stay healthy, what do you think you can see out of him, or what can he do in his third year?
Well, I think Josh, you know, it just depends. It's hard to say statistically. I think people are looking for the stats to fly off the charts. But, you know, around here, the way we spread the ball around to Chris and Jordan and Jamison and all these other guys, it's going to be hard and Paul now and, you know, Maurice Harris and Rob Davis when he gets in there. It's going to be hard for one guy to have a fantasy football superstar year, but you know, I think in the red zone is where he's going to be most dangerous. That's what we're hoping, that he can really dominate in that area of the field on some tight window throws on third down, and just continue to get better and better, and when the ball's there for him and he goes out and makes the tough catches.
Jay, yesterday you mentioned that Jonathan Allen's coming out of his shell a little bit. That's personality wise. What do you want to see from him as a player year 2? Obviously, I imagine health is one, but what are your expectations of last year's first-round pick?
Yeah, we have very high expectations for Jonathan. He is an excellent football player without a doubt, and he's not a one-dimensional player at all. He plays a run equally as well as he can rush a passer. So we just got to make sure we keep him fresh and healthy somehow. But he's a very tenacious guy, loves football, prepares his tail off. Tom Sula's doing a great job with him, and I have no worries about Jonathan. The only thing we just got to do is keep him on the field. He's going to be a great player.
What can we expect from Trent, Morgan, and Jordan with pads on today?
I think Morgan might get another rep or two. We're just going to ease him in it. Trent, we're probably going to stick with individual for a little while. And then Jordan, he'll get some one-on-ones today. Maybe 7-on-7 tomorrow or the next day, but he'll probably get 4 or 5 one-on-ones today.
Going back to Josh Doctson in the red zone, are there some things there that you say, okay, now you're in your third year, you should be doing, or you can be doing this more or better? What are some of the things he's had to learn to become?
I think that he's been a great option for us, or we just hadn't got many opportunities to him for whatever reason, So it's not totally his fault that he hasn't been as productive as people anticipate. Play calling, sometimes the quarterback went elsewhere. It just so happens that that's where the play design was. So we're hoping that he does get more opportunities. That's a big thing. With the opportunities that he does get, we just hope he takes advantage of them.
Jay, back at minicamp, there were a couple of undrafted free agents that at the end of it you kind of mentioned that guys that stood out. I know it's very early here, but you're using guys in all different, with the first team, second team, third team. So I'm just wondering if anybody is, from that perspective, has sort of stood out so far, and what are the things that you're kind of looking at?
We're just, right now we're just trying to get everybody involved. I'm not going to try to make any spotlights on any players right now. I just want everybody to just keep working and taking advantage of the reps. And then once the Jets get here, we'll get more looks at them. And then obviously the preseason games will be big for them. These guys are trying their best to compete, study, stay healthy, obviously hydration, all that good stuff. But I think I've been impressed with a number of these guys, the way they've come out here and got themselves ready to play and take advantage of the reps. Still got a long way to go as far as what to do, how to do it. But they've all bought in and done a good job.
The sort of the heat just now, how do you sort of balance the weather, the mucky sort of feel that adds extra, I guess, effort in the pads, just balancing, pushing your players, but keeping them healthy and safe in this weather?
Yeah, that's tough. We had a lot of guys with IVs. We had, this big thing is hydration and their diet and their sleep and all that stuff plays a part into it. And then I got to make sure we take some time off and make sure we get them plenty of water during practice, after practice, before practice, all that stuff. So I got a pretty good gauge and monitoring how we're doing and how they're doing without trying to, we still need to practice though. So there's this fine line that we talk about all the time. So it's kind of my job.
Jay, how has Quentin Dunbar done since the offseason, taking advantage of the opportunity he has? And how do you feel about your cornerback depth overall?
Feel good about it, and Quentin's done a good job. He's got a lot of confidence for a guy who's only played corner a few years in his life. I tell you what, jeez. But, I like Quentin. I think mentally I like where he's at. I think when he first started playing corner, all he wanted to do is play press, up and run man-to-man, and he could do that because he's long and can run. Now I think he's starting to expand his game a little bit. He's playing more off coverage and better in zone coverages and better in the running game and knowing where to fit. The big thing with him is just continue to get better, but he's got all the intangibles you want for a corner: long, fast, and our cornerback depth. Fabian over there, and obviously Skandrick and Josh, and now Adonis we added. Danny is one of the undrafted free agents that we really like. He's done a great job. So we have a number of guys over there that are doing pretty good.
Jay. Hi, Jay.
Hi.
Good morning. You touched on this yesterday, but teams seem to be more aware of the importance of the backup quarterback. I mean, they always have been, but do you think what the Eagles did last year has highlighted that, and teams are really putting an emphasis on finding a backup who is capable of starting for a long period of time?
Yeah, you have to. That's as important of a position as there is on your roster, really. Even though he may not play one down in the regular season, there's a chance he could play 16 games, 15 games, whatever it might be. So you have to have a good one for a number of reasons. One, he's got to support the starter. Two, he's got to be ready at all times. And three, he's got to be good for your football team and handle scout team and all that stuff for the defense. So Colt is magnificent at all that. So we feel good about having Colt here, and it's a very important position, as the Eagles found out and a number of other Super Bowl teams have found out. I think the Patriots found out with Brady, I believe. Thank you.